We're going to look at example 2, part A, in your section 4.7 notes. In this example, we're going to see the L'Hopital's rule cannot be applied directly because we do not have 0 over 0 or infinity over infinity. So our job is going to be to see what we have and then to try to convert it into one of those two forms so that we can apply L'Hopital's rule. So in part A, if we look here and plug in 1 in the first parentheses, we're going to get a 0. And then we're on the left side of 1, and we can see that if we plug in, we're going to get tangent of pi over 2, and on the left side, that actually shoots up to infinity because pi over 2 is an asymptote for tangent. So we have a 0 times infinity problem. So our goal for those kind is to try to divide by the reciprocal. All right, so we want to look at, see which part of this it makes sense to take the reciprocal, and it makes sense to do it for the trig function for sure because we have the nice reciprocal identity. So we're going to leave 1 over x where it is. If we move tangent to the denominator, it becomes the cotangent. Okay. All right, so we already know that we plug in 1, we get 0. Okay, here, if we look at the cotangent of pi over 2, that is actually an x-intercept, so that'll be 0. So now it's in the form where we can apply L'Hopital's rule. So we're ready to take the derivatives. Okay, so we take the derivative of the upstairs, we're going to get -1. So for the downstairs, we need to apply the chain rule. So the derivative of the outside of cotangent is negative cosecant squared of pi x over 2. And then we take that times the derivative of the inside, which is just going to be pi over 2. Okay. All right, so cosecant squared we can evaluate for 1. So we're actually ready to drop the limit and do our evaluation. The numerator is -1. Probably the easiest way to find the cosecant squared of pi over 2 is to think about the sign. So you can use your quadrantal angles here. So here's where pi over 2 would be, and that ordered pair on the unit circle is 0, 1. So the sign is always the y value. So cosecant is the reciprocal of sine, so the reciprocal of 1 is 1. If you square it, you're still going to get 1, so that's good news for us. So we'll have a negative sign. This answer is a 1. Okay, and we still have the pi over 2 down there. Okay, so basically all we're doing is taking the reciprocal of pi over 2. So our final answer ends up being 2 over pi.